Hello everyone, welcome back to ByteRipple. In today's lesson, we'll be looking into HTML colors, understanding HEX, which is hexadecimal colors, RGB, which is red, green, blue colors, named colors, and background styling. Without any further delay, let's get into today's detail of the tutorial. Colors in HTML make web pages visually appealing and easier to read. You can set colors for text, backgrounds, and borders using names RGB, which is red, green, blue, hexadecimal form of color, or HSL values, which is hue, saturation, and lightness. Why HTML colors and why do they matter to us as developers? HTML colors are very important because they create visual impression of your website. Colors make web pages attractive and engaging. If you visit a website that is just full of HTML markups or HTML plain texts, it's not attractive, you are not interested. But with HTML colors, you are able to get attracted, interested in the website. Readability. Proper color choices improve text visibility and user experience. With HTML colors and styling of your websites, with these color styles, your websites or the content of your website becomes readable and visual appealing. Brand identity. Consistent color schemes also helps represent a brand style and message. If your website is well styled in a specific color or specific color theme, it creates an impression in the mind of the user, shows your identity and what you represent. What are the key examples we find in websites for HTML colors? So we find named colors, which predefine colors names like red, blue, or light gray that browser recognize. We also have hexadecimal colors, which is a 6 digits that represent colors using a mix of red, green, and blue values. We also have the RGB colors, defining color using red, green, blue values, which ranges from 0 to 255. So for example, we have the RGB, which represents 255, 0, 0. That is, the red is the 255, while the first 0 is the green, and the last 0 is the blue value. So this combination of values will give you a color that is red, depending on what you are using this color to style on your website. We also have background colors. It defines the color behind text or elements using background colors. By the time we get into the practical section of today, you will see how all this plays out. These are some of the examples we are going to be seeing by the time we start styling our web page in today's tutorial. So I will want us to now go to our VS Code and do some practical. Now I'm on my browser. I will want us to just comment out some of these programs so that we have room to work and see today's lesson. Let me comment this out. So remember how we do the comment in programming. Generally, it is control forward slash. So I light all this code here, then control forward slash, and comment the content out. Now we have a plain page to work with. So without any further delay, let's just have a few examples and see how we could represent some of those things we talked about in the slide. So we'll be starting out with the named colors. So for the named colors, let's assume we want to style a particular text or content on our website. Okay, so we simply, let's use the p tag. Remember the p tag, which is the paragraph tag. So let's say the p tag, we use the p tag. Okay, so we say the p tag and we say this text is red. Okay, so let's start this sentence and see what it looks like. So we use the inline styling. So we say style as an attribute. You remember we talked about attributes. Second or third lessons of this series. So we said the attribute is style, and we have properties which contains values, keys and values. So the first property here is going to be color. We want to style this content, so we say color, the color, then we say red. Then we have the color to be red. You see, we have the color red. It's red. Okay, and that is for the named colors. So let me write a comment here and say HTML colors. Okay, and this is what named color. Named. Let me change it to have named colors. Okay, the next is going to be the hexadecimal colors. So let's say another p tag, or let's write a comment for that. We say the p tag is going to be this text is green. Color green, for instance, for growth. So same styling property, I'll say color, and for this one we use the hash symbol. So it is shift hash, okay, on your computer, on your keyboard, and we write the values. So we want this particular expression to be green, so, and the value is the hash, then we use 2 zeros, then capital FF, and the last 200 to have a green text. Okay, so this text is green, and this is how we do we kind of combine a value, different values, as I've mentioned in the slide, that we use for the hexadecimal. So we combine different values to achieve this for each text we want to style. So we say that there are actually 6 coded values here. Okay, as you can see, we have 00. The value could range between 0 to 9, and the character could be between A to F. So you could do combination of different values. So let's say E, and we see that, and we change this value, maybe let's say 3, 333. You see, the color should change to something like black. Okay, this is more than 6, so now we should have blue. Okay, so it should be 6, the value should be 6. So you could do combination of these values to achieve the hexadecimal. Then let's move to the next one, which is, I think that should be the background color. Okay, we talked about the background color. So the background color simply means we are setting background for a particular text or content. So let's say the background color of this text is red. Red stands for danger. So let's say style of user Then we say background dash color. Then we have this to be red. Okay, and we have it to be red. See, the background is red. So that is how we style the background color. Then the next, I think the final one, we've talked about the name colors, we talked about hexadecimal, we've talked about the background. I think the last one is the RGB. So the RGB, simply we use values. So let's say the RGB of this text is let's say black, because yeah, you could, I think there are standard values that you can use that you could also memorize to. I think these are the ones I can still remember. Sorry, stuff. Then we say RGB, and we have an opening bracket, and we set the value. You remember I said it ranges between 0 to 255. So 0, that's for the green, and the last one, which should be the red. So let's say color. We are giving the value, we've not set the property. 0 color, and we should have it to be black. So we have it to be black, or we could set the background so that we see the effect. So let's set the background. Let's say background color is let's say what is red. Sorry, let's say red. And let's say it's red. The background is red. Let's set this value to be white. So it will be 255, 255, sorry, comma 255, and the last one is comma 255. Then the value of the text, it should be 255, 255, 255, and let's refresh. Okay, I think there's a mistake here. It's a dot, it should be a comma. Refresh, and the text is white, and that's it. So this is how we style HTML texts or whatever HTML markup we have on our website for using different HTML styling values and color combinations. So in our next class, we are going to be seeing more of I don't know if you remember, I mentioned the HSL, which is the hue saturation lights, and how we could manage the values to achieve different color appearances on our website, on our texts, and how we have set the background of this particular page. Before we go, I have a challenge for you. I want you to create a simple HTML page where the background color is light blue, the heading, that is an H1, is a text with a dark green, the paragraph using an RGB colors of your choice, and finally another paragraph using an hexadecimal color of your choice. Make sure to do this challenge. This way you will have an understanding of what the HTML colors actually do. In conclusion, in today's lesson we have been able to see that colors in HTML help bring our web pages to life. You can use named colors, hexadecimal values, or RGB codes to style texts and backgrounds. Your choice of each of these colors improves your design, creates readability, and user experience. In our next lesson, we dive deeper into HTML colors, and I can't wait to have you. Stay tuned and see you in the next class. Thank you and God bless.